Very hot today out here. Let me turn on this AC. This thing stops. All right, so on top of that video that I was making, I gotta pause that. Okay. On top of that video that I was making, I forgot to talk about a very important story. Now, when I was doing my tech training classes, and I won't say specific names or organizations, but I'll say this, man. When I was doing my tech training classes, you know, it was for black folks. You know, you had black Americans in there. You had some brothers from the diaspora in there. And so one of the people in the nonprofit was trying to basically spread the money around. I'm a contractor, but he's trying to spread the money around. And see, this is the issue we be having a lot of times, man, when we go outside our cultures and we be trying to look out for our so-called brothers and sisters. This happens a little bit too damn much. But in this case, and that it's pertinent because we talk about essence. I mean, when you don't honor Frankie Beverly, man, that's kind of crazy. I'm hearing reports that he wasn't even honored. I'm like, dude, like, that you can't do that by accident. But anyway, so I'm doing all this tech training and stuff, right? Getting these black folks these certifications and helping them and giving them the game on the IT or whatever. So we try to bring in this Somali dude. The first day I met him, I didn't trust him. He just had this slick. You ever seen a dude with like a real slick hairstyle, real slick? He was a slickster about him, and he talked a big game, Pan-African. Oh, we need to do this, that, and the third. Bottom line, what ended up happening is they were supposed to have the Somali community, and they were supposed to hire somebody from their community to take care of the tech on their end, training a lot of the Somali folks. So they got this big ass list. And I'm just gonna be honest, man, this Negro started doing that feeding our futures type shit. There's a big RICO right now in the state of Minnesota about feeding our futures. Basically, $200 million. You had this one white lady as the ringleader. She had all these Somalian folks. Basically, they were scamming. Now, black folks, the foundationals, they would never give us $200 million to do no shit like that. But what ended up happening is these Negroes started opening up all these little fake fronts saying that they were feeding children, and they weren't doing shit. They were buying houses out in Shakopee and stuff in Lakeville and sending folk money back to Somalia. I mean, it was a whole scam. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it because it's a damn shame, because that's money that my community could have went with. So now this guy is supposed to have tech, you know, training. He's supposed to hire the tech trainers. Well, the tech trainers never showed up. They so-called it never happened. And there was a lame excuse as to why that happened. So they gave this nigga damn near like 20 racks or something like that. He never shows up. He never shows up. He don't give the money back. You know what I'm saying? And so now, out of all the students that were supposed to be signed up, I got to clean it up. I'm the one that's trying to find these Negroes jobs, reaching out to them, somebody not reaching back. And I think what happened is, I think he just made a list, and some of the people were interested, and he just made a list of a whole bunch of people from his community that he thought that he was going to be able to just say, all right. And so now, as I'm getting all the certification stuff ready, I mean, it was a mess, man. So I'm picking up all the pieces, and I'm not really getting paid for that shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not really getting paid for it. So this nigga gets to run off with all the money. And I look up, I said, man, I wonder what this dude's up to. So I look him up a couple weeks ago, and he was implicated in the Feeding Our Futures thing. But I guess they didn't have enough evidence, so they let him go. They just charged a black American woman, and they let a whole bunch of the other folks go saying we don't have the resources. So they have resources for the black American woman. They have resources for folks like Diddy. They got plenty of resources for black folk. They got plenty of resources for the highs and the lows in North Minneapolis. But all of a sudden, we ain't got no more resources to prosecute people we know that was committing these crimes. That's Minnesota for y'all. And I'm not gonna hold my tongue and pull no punches about this shit. Cause I got to fucking live it. I got to see that money going out of black hands into niggas that was doing tether activity. It's a damn shame that I have to explain this shit. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I said, man, it's getting to a point now. No, we gonna have to draw the line with certain things. That could have been if I would have had that bread, man, I would have had I would have had 200 brothers up in there certified. I was already getting people certified. I was already making it happen. So it wasn't like it was a money grab for me. And my daily bread didn't come from that anyway. I was a contractor. But what I'm saying is that's not how I pay my bills. You know, I was a system administrator during that time. So that wasn't nothing that, if I wouldn't have got that money, it wouldn't hurt me. You know, I was just taking time out of my day, and I was actually getting paid less than what a person typically gets paid to do what I do. But I just want y'all to know the get down on what happens. There's a lot of scamming going on in this city. You know, and mainly it'd be a bunch of the white liberals. That's who 90% of the people be doing. They be doing stuff under the table. You heard what happened on 38th in Chicago, but I just want to kind of tell that story. You know, the thing is, what we've been having an issue is, we've been seeing these things a long time. And a lot of times black folks here, we just don't really want to say nothing because we're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? That brother's from the diaspora. I don't really want to get on his ass too much, you know. But now it's got to the point where you just got to clear the water and you'd be like, all right, who's solid and who's not? And we're not going to stick our neck out until we find out who's solid. It's bad enough that we have to vet niggas in our own damn community for any flim flam to be going on. But I didn't have that issue with other foundations. We never had that issue. Soon as we brought that Negro in, that man got to skimming and flim flamming and scamming. And I just think it's a damn shame that, you know, you have these kind of stories. And I'm kind of like, you know, the reason why I said it, I added on, it reminded me of the Essence thing. It reminded me of like, okay, so you use us for your benefit, but it ain't a two-way street. You see what I'm saying? And even after I spent a lot of my time trying to help them out, it ain't like somebody, you know, be like, well, hey man, you know, how you been doing or whatever. It ain't like most of the foundational brothers that I dealt with, where they were like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying, how you been doing or whatever. It's kind of like, okay, you help me out, kiss my ass, nigga. That's the attitude. That was my experience in that situation. And this is a conversation that happens nationwide. This ain't no new shit. We've been dealing with this shit for damn near 15 to 30, 40 years, man. We've been dealing with this for a long time. It's just that, you know, now everything's coming to head. So now here's what's going to have to happen. Black folks globally, if people want Black Americans to get on their team and get with them and do this, do that, we gonna have to start looking up folks' paperwork and start saying, wait a minute, man, what is your history? Because if we don't, you're just gonna get taken advantage of. They got this thing right now where I just seen something where they said some dude, he went to some HBCU and they said he was African American or something, and he's Hispanic. And they talking about him getting deported because they want us to rally behind. No. This sacrificial lamb shit got to stop. We not going to be laying out our lives and our time and resources and energy for folks that don't reciprocate. That's what we going to have. We going to have a global national reciprocation. It's going to have to be two ways. It's going to have to be two ways. Because, you know, folks they have this idea that we're supposed to do everything and ain't nobody supposed to do nothing. And then you got folks backstabbing and talking behind our back. No, hell no. There's some other shit. There's some other stuff. There's some shit I want to tell y'all so bad, man, but I don't want to. Well, man, there's some shit that some niggas done did, but I don't really, you know, it's old. But it's more of that kind of stuff, and I'm kind of like, dude. So I've done my part. But you know, and this ain't to the solid brothers from the diaspora. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about a very key focus of folks, but it's too much. It's too much, man. You know, but yeah, man, it's been going on a long time. So, but that was my experience as a tech trainer. You know, and it hurts because it's somebody that you feel it looks like you. Well, the nigga don't look like me. But what I'm just saying, like, it's worse than. And the narrative that people will say is, well, he's from the motherland, so you can't criticize that. Oh, hell no. Folks criticize us all the time. If it's off code and it's some bogus shit, you're supposed to criticize it, right? Well, no, you can't say nothing because that's xenophobic. Man, fuck that. Hell no. No. If you're off code, you're off code. And it was off code as hell. And there was never no get back, no apology, no forgiveness, no nothing. It was like, yep, you niggas did all the work. Fuck y'all. And we just here. And we just not having it, man. We just not having it. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is, y'all.